গুড মর্নিং, শুভ সকাল। আজকে হঠাৎ করে একটা কথা মনে পড়লো আর কি। হ্যাঁ, আমার একটা কলিগ ছিল, আমাকে একবার বলছিল চশমাটা পরে আমার পাচ্ছি না, সো ইটস নট সানগ্লাসেস, সো shades, it's a power করা, I hope you don't mind. So he said one morning that if you start your day by just reciting a poem, it could change a lot. কিন্তু আমি এখন ট্রাই করি, but I have written something that I can't stop myself to sharing. It is for all of us. It's like I just want to read it out. Someone has captioned this book. The book is written by Masaru Emoto. It's New York bestseller. The Hidden Messages in Water. তার আগে কার কার মনে আছে ছোটোবেলা আমরা অনেকবার পড়ছি এটা, সবাই পড়ে এটা, যে বারে বারে বাংলা বইতে বা কোনো একটা বইতে, সমাজ বইতে মনে আসতো এটা, যে পৃথিবীর 70% হচ্ছে স্থল আর বাকিটা হচ্ছে জল। 70% হচ্ছে স্থল জল আর বাকিটা হচ্ছে স্থল। 70-30, 70% ওয়াটার মিনস সামথিং, রাইট? আমরা শুনছি, কিন্তু দে হ্যাভ নেভার টট মিনস স্কুল আস যে ইটস মাচ মোর significant. So that's how I just remember those lines. And before science, could measure it, before philosophy could name it, the water already knew. It already knew the weight of every cruel word ever spoken in quiet room, the warmth of every prayer whispered over a meal, the grief carried in tears that fell without anyone watching. Masaru Emoto did not invent the writer this truth. He simply had the courage and the camera to show it to the world when truth is not there. He simply had the courage. That's it. He said, when I listened to Hidden Messages in the Water, narrated by Victor Slezak, someone made an audio out of it, in the calm, almost reverent voice that makes you feel like someone is reading a letter written just for all of us. Let's start it, okay? Something cracked open inside me. I'm not being dramatic, বলতেছে ক্যাপশন যে বলেছে। I'm being honest, and honestly, something cracked open inside me. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being honest, and honestly, this book ate and left no crumbs. If you have been sleeping on it, consider this your sign to wake up. Here are 5 lessons that stayed with me long after this audiobook ended. Some books have deep impact, right? Number 1, your words are not just words or sounds, they are architecture. Emoto spent years photographing frozen waters, crystals, after exposing them to different words. And what he found is the kind of thing that makes you sit in silence and think about every conversation you have ever with anyone. Water that was shown the words love and gratitude form the most breathtaking symmetrical, snowflake-like crystals you have ever seen. While water exposed to words like you fool or I hate you produce dark, broken, incomplete formations that look like something shattered from inside. He writes that words are an expression of the soul, that the vibration of the negative words has the power to destroy. The Victor Slezak's voice delivered those lines in the audiobook, slow and deliberate. It hit differently because you realize Emoto is not just talking about water in the lab bottle, he's talking about the water inside you, your child, when you raise your voice. Fascinating. You have 70% water too in your body. Because you're a right? And your child, okay. The water inside your friend when you dismiss their pain. The water inside you when you speak to yourself the way it would never dare to speak to someone you love. The words are building something or breaking something every single time. Gratitude is not a soft feeling. It is a healing frequency. Emoto's most iconic finding is the one that genuinely made a pause, the audiobook, and just breathe, is that the combination of love and gratitude produce the most beautiful crystals of all experiments. He describes it as the fundamental principle of nature itself, the vibration from which all harmony flows. He goes further to say that if you had to reduce the message of the water in a single phrase, it would be love and gratitude. Because those two forces, when held together, create wholeness nothing else can replicate. This is not delulu spirituality for people who have given up on the science. This is a man who froze water, looked at it under a microscope, and saw it that with thankfulness changes the very shape of matter. Imagine and what gratitude does to a human body that is 60 to 70% of water. Question. Emoto believe that a daily practice of genuine gratitude, even saying thank you with real feeling over your glass of water before drinking it, something at the molecular level. Listening to this chapter felt like being handed permission to take your own peace seriously, like being told the softness is not weakness. It is actually the most powerful frequency in the room. Ignoring someone is worse than hating them. This lesson is the one hit me like a truck on a quiet road. And I need you to know, sit with it. Emoto conducted an experiment with 3 jars of cooked rice. And he sit with it, spoke kindly to the first jar every day, saying thank you. He spoke harshly to the second jar and saying like, you fool, to the third one. He completely ignored, after a month, the rice that received a gratitude and fermented beautifully and smelled pleasant rice that was insulted with the one. Turned black. The rice that was ignored, it rotted, and fastest and most completely of all, Emoto's conclusion was clear, that almost unbearably honest, that most damaging form of behavior is withholding your attention to give someone negative attention. He wrote, is a form of energy, but to give no attention is the deepest wound. For anyone who has ever been ghosted, overlooked, or made to feel invisible in a relationship, in a family, in a workplace, this lesson is validation you did not know you needed. And also, the mirror you did not know you were avoiding. We have all ignored someone, we have all been ignored. Emoto is saying that indifference is not neutral, it is corrosive. The earth is a living body, and we are hurting it with more than pollution. Emoto takes a conversation far beyond the personal and into the planetary way that honestly felt prophetic listening to it now. He describes experiments done on the lakes and rivers, showing the polluted, chemically damaged water produces crystals that were dark, distorted, and almost painful to look at. But what moved me most was the account of a group of people gathering around a polluted lake in Japan and offering prayers, gratitude, and positive intention toward the water. After the ceremony, the water crystals that formed were noticeably more complete and ordered than before. Emoto believed that because of the earth is of approximately 70% of the water, our collective emotional state, our collective anger, our collective despair and hope is not just metaphorical weight on the planet. It is literal vibrational force acting on the body of earth itself. We talk endlessly about carbon footprints and plastic straws, and those things matter deeply. But Emoto asking a harder question. What is emotional footprint of 7 billion human beings walking around pain, in rage, in disconnection? And what would shift if we took our inner world as seriously as our outer one? This kind of main character energy that the whole human race needs to step into. What you believe in your heart shapes the world you actually live in. Toward the end of the book, Emoto shares that perhaps his most personal conviction, the one that gave entire project its heartbeat. He writes, what you know is possible in your heart is possible. We make it possible by our will. What we imagine in our minds become our world. That is just one many of things. My goodness, I have goosebumps. I have learned from water, he is not selling prosperity gospel. It's sharing the conclusion of a scientist who spent decades watching intention alter matter, watching love leave visible fingerprints on frozen molecules, watching the universe respond to consciousness in ways that cannot be unseen once you have seen them. Victor Slezak's narration of this section carried a quietness that felt unearned, like someone who had walked a long road and arrived somewhere below. Emoto is asking you to take your imagination seriously, to stop treating your deepest hopes like embarrassing secrets. To understand that frequency of your beliefs already interacting with the world around you, whether you are intentional about it or not, you might as well be intentional. You might as well choose love, whatever it turns out has been waiting for you to figure out all along. Just believe one thing, that when you speak, water shakes, right? Like water has effect on it. When you like fool them, পানিতে কিন্তু একটা crystal হয়. So just think about it. He said the amount of rage and anger, despair, depression the world carries among 7 billion people, how the world reacts to it, or the water, all over it. Was thinking, right? Have a good day. Try to read this book. The New York bestseller, New York Times bestseller, The Hidden Messages in Water, written by Masaru Emoto. Good luck.